Hey guys, here's the gear for today's shave, and something very different. If you're a fan of my channel, you know that I don't usually start with a wet brush, and I'll tell you more about that later. That is the extra soft Zenith Horse brush. The model number is going to be in the description of the video if you like that particular handle. I like it a lot. It's very different than about any other horse brush that I've seen on the market. I haven't tried a lot of horse brushes. I've just tried one other one. But in terms of what I read, the experiences from a vast number of people are so different with the prickliness and the tangly nature of the horse brushes that this just does not have. That extra soft truly is extra soft, it seems. Karve Christopher Bradley with a B solid bar plate. Going to use the same blade as my most recent shave, the Gillette yellow SharpEdge. It's got one shave on it for now. And then the soap is from Strike Gold Shave. It is a company I don't know too much about, and this is the only sample that I've got from them. I obtained it at a meetup, a little small plastic container here in 2019. So this is their soap base as of that time. And I don't even know if they're still in business. I think so. The guy who was manning the stall, I don't know if he was the actual proprietor or if he just had a bunch of samples to give out, or a friend of the proprietor or whatever. He was talking straight razors with somebody else when I was, there at the table looking. It was in Greensboro back in 2019. And Hoover is the name of the scent, I guess. And it says CIC on the bottom. But I don't know. Commander-in-Chief, I guess. Maybe that's a series. Different presidents are on the different soaps. So it's an okay scent. It seems to have an ivory soap kind of classic vibe to it. A little bit of powdery, maybe some florals in there somewhere, but really not too bad. Really, the ivory soap and kind of the powder type of just fresh, clean type of vibe is what I'm getting. I scraped some out with the back of my thumbnail. I pressed it into the bottom of my lather bowl, and now we get to why. Oh, before I get my hands wet, let us load the razor. As you can see, a lot of time has gone by since I bought my Karve, and it is the patina is getting quite dark, and I did hand shine the top cap here and a few other surfaces, and I really like the way that is turning out. So this is I think it's a blade not really used too much by the American market, but it might be. It's in the yellow packaging for the Gillette 7 o'clock series, and it's the SharpEdge. The B, I believe, in terms of the Karve world, is a neutral exposure plate. I find it very comfortable while still cutting me very well. Very clean cuts, very comfortable shaving. I like it quite a bit. My brush did soak in the water for a while. Natural hair brushes, generally you should do that. And then I pressed the sample into the bottom of the bowl here. And then I noticed this other soap that I kind of wanted to use instead that was sitting here on my sink. And so I thought, well, I've already pressed this into the bottom. Let's just see what happens. I'll take this sopping wet brush. I just lifted the brush out of the water, fully wet, lots of water in it that this particular brush can hold. And I put it in and just started working the lather. In the Slurry Lather method, it's primarily meant to be a fast method. And so you're not trying to get a mature lather right away. Usually by the end of the shave, you might experience that mature lather, but it really usually not at the beginning. And so that's why I just spent a little bit of time, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and this is what I ended up with. A very wet little slurry in here. And so then I decided, wait a minute, that looks interesting. I mean, and this is, in a way, this would be a lesson on how to slurry lather a sample And so is this going to be a slurry lather method, or is it just going to be a standard face lathering? I don't know. Let's just try it and see what happens, okay? So let me get my face wet. Either 1.5 days of growth or 2 days of growth, I think is what I've got on me right now. So I believe I put enough soap in the bottom of the bowl for the whole shave, for a whole 3 or 4 passes. So that's good. So that's a known element. And then I have a whole brush worth of water in there. So that's kind of the mix so far. Oh, and see, immediately this gives me kind of a light lather. As usual, I'm not pressing very hard. I don't want any extra water in there to empty out. I'll go ahead and stop. As in the slurry lather method, we just don't have to get anything mature on the face. That early part is still very, very slick. And so we'll see how this blade does. With this Karve razor, which I think is still, after years of use, probably my favorite razor. It's the one I would grab to use forever if I had to pick one. Now, since I paused my lather building, realizing that I wanted to make a video out of what was in the bowl instead of switching gears to the other soap, this is not quite going to act exactly the same way. I may have lost a little moisture in getting everything ready or whatever, but there we go. That worked very well. It was pretty slick. It maybe wasn't crazy, super slick. And in a way, we've almost got a almost mature lather in the bowl right now. Oh, you know what? Let's add some more water, because I've still got some soap that is pressed down into the bottom of the bowl. So not all the soap has been, okay, there we go. See, we've got a bubbly, wet slurry created now. And so we can take that. Ah, now that feels more like a slurry. And even then, it doesn't take too long before it's starting to look, you know, pretty mature on my face there. This blade does not seem to be quite as nice as other blades to me. On this side of my face, it's really quite good, but over here I was experiencing some scrapiness. Second use is often smoother for me than the first, because I don't know, maybe the burr on the edge of the blade has worn away or something like that, and it's not uncommon. I've definitely heard other people report the same thing. And now some splashes of water. And yeah, there's that efficiency, because my face feels very good right now to the touch, very smooth. I could walk away right now if I wanted to. So yeah, this is turning out to be a slurry lather, because I don't have to develop anything mature before I can shave, and that's kind of one of the hallmarks of the slurry lather, and so I get that speed that I want. Now, someday I'm going to stop all my research into the slurry lather method and get back to building up the lather on my face like I have for so many years. About like an almond size amount of soap I pressed into the bottom, probably a little more than I usually use. And this is a pretty good soap base. It's very slick here. if it is his current soap base anymore, since it's been a few years. And there we go, little rinse now. Yep, sure enough, that worked very well. I probably still have a little bit of soap left in the bottom that was pressed into the bottom of the bowl here. And as you can see, I've got plenty of lather for another couple of passes. Oh yeah, I definitely did not use up all the soap. I probably only needed to press in about half as much as I did. And so what I could do is probably just leave this for tomorrow. Maybe rinse out the excess suds if you're clean, if you're kind of a clean freak. But then you can leave what's pressed into the bottom for the next day if you wanted to. But again, the horse brush does a great job. It holds plenty of water, especially compared to synthetics. But it holds plenty of water to get that slurry going, keep it on your face. It felt very good on my face as I was working it, nice and soft, and I could feel the lightness of the lather of the slurry on me. Very slick, and yeah, I did need to add a little bit of water before that second pass because it did need that to get kind of the slurry back. And it's possible that the brush didn't hold quite enough water for the whole amount of soap there. And so with the soap being more, it maybe thickened up the lather a little bit more than a slurry might normally have. But yeah, so that's definitely how I would treat in the future if I wanted to be quick in my shaving and I had a sample to work with, or some other small kind of container where I couldn't lather up in the container. I can load the brush in the container. I would just do that, press, and you can use a 1/4 teaspoon is often my standard start amount when I don't know how much I should use for a soap. With sterling soaps, for instance, that will give you plenty for like 5 passes of lather if you like it as hydrated as I do. And if you like it really thick and dry, then it might not be enough. And you press it in the bottom and take your sopping wet brush. I picked the brush up out of the water. I didn't even give it any shakes or anything like that. And I put it right into the bowl. And as you can see, I had to add a little bit more water to it anyway. So yeah, definitely can do a slurry lather with a sample, but you just kind of need a bowl. But it's very fast. A lot of people who see me, man, years ago, I would spend sometimes 15 minutes creating the lather, trying to fine tune it just right and that sort of thing, just with mixing the lather. And I got plenty of comments that said that, man, I don't have the patience for that. Well, for that kind of person, this is a method that might be very good for you. And there we go. Very nice. I also wanted to mention, I got a good rinse now and a nice close shave, very comfortable shave too. So while on the first pass, that blade didn't seem quite as nice on this side of my face. It wasn't as smooth as this one. It ended up pretty well, I think. I still find other blades better. And so I definitely don't see any need to go out and buy another tuck of these. At the store, you can buy witch hazel. And this is a product that's in the splashes and the toners that we have. But you can also just buy straight witch hazel if you want. You can then, I'm just going to pour a little bit out into my hand here. You can then mix it with an aftershave splash if you want to kind of make your own toner, especially if you find that splash. I'm going to do a little bit more. If you find that splash to be a little irritating, then the witch hazel here can really tone it down. And witch hazel is good for you. It's not like alum where you would have to rinse it off. You can just leave it on. It's an astringent, right? Yeah, astringent. It's got other health benefits as well for other purposes. And then what does it say? It says it's an 86% solution. So it's not pure witch hazel, which is kind of nice because real witch hazel kind of has a little bit of a funky smell to it, and I can tell that a little bit now, but it's not really a bother. All right, there we go. So you can definitely use that if you have dry skin, because alum you definitely should not be using if you have dry skin. Now I didn't really need to use witch hazel with this kind of balm here, this liniment from Declaration Grooming. This is an old one, Southern Paradise. And back, the Declaration did and I guess they were L&L Grooming back then. They did a liniment for just not a long time. And so that's kind of a unobtainium at this point. But I love this sweet tea smell. And so I just wanted to show you the witch hazel. With this liniment, it's so kind of nutritious for your face that you don't need the witch hazel with it. But I just wanted to show you that if you couldn't get like a Thayer's witch hazel toner in your area, you might be able to go to a local pharmacy or big box store and just buy straight witch hazel, which could be good for your skin. And there we go. I'm going to smell great for quite a while with this. All right, I think that's today's shave. Thank you so much. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Have a great day.